traditional photography, you usually start with your film stock. 35 millimeters is the most common. If after you shoot, you've got to develop those negatives in a dark room. It involves chemistry that will interact with the silver halide crystals on the film, and that silver is what's going to give you your density and your film negative. You take that negative and put it into something called an enlarger, which is really just a projector of sorts. That projector will light the negative up onto photosensitive paper. You put that through a range of chemical baths. And by the end of it, you have a piece of paper that has silver literally embedded into it with an image that's just been hard pressed onto the paper. My name is Dakota Rose. I attended Butte College's radio, TV, and film and multimedia associate's degrees from 2010 to 2012. I currently work as a freelance video editor for Disney's theatrical marketing department. I am an avid editor, avid media composer, which a lot of people probably haven't heard of. It's an older NLE as opposed to Premiere or Resolve. I currently work as an editor, started here at Butte in the photography department. Darkroom specifically, I took it as an elective course, not knowing that I'd fall in love with it at a later date. I was hired in 2011 to set up a computer lab in Moshi, Tanzania, which is in Africa. I worked over there for about 3 months and wanted to document that trip. And so I bought my first digital camera, Canon T2i, and shot the best I could from what I saw over there. Got back, took a photography class at Butte, realized that I didn't know what I was doing at all, and took some classes from Dennis Wicks and Daniel Donnelly, Mike Agliolo, picked up some photographic skill sets, and then within that degree program, they wanted you to take some sort of elective course, and I saw that there was traditional printing, which at the time I had no idea what a darkroom even was. A bit of a late bloomer to the whole darkroom printing scene. But I took that class, it was intro to black and white printing, and just completely fell in love with it. It was one of the most magical experiences I've had creatively, really in any field. I mean, to this day, I don't have the same sensation as printing in the darkroom as I do editing in Photoshop or even producing a cut in Avid. And I think there's like a certain beauty to that when you shoot your film, you develop your film, you take the developed negative, put it in an enlarger, mix your own chemistry, you expose your silver gelatin papers, put the paper in the chemistry, and then it's all kind of a big act of mysticism. Almost feels like witchcraft, or like you're a sorcerer making your work. And I still haven't seen a lot of other art forms with imagery that can do that. It can be highly technical if you want it to be, and it can also you can keep it on a base level and know the basics and just have fun with it, which is another thing that I think you can kind of get away with more with darkroom printing than you can with digital. You can be less of a technician and more of an artist sometimes when you're working with your hands, in my opinion. But, yeah, I really fell in love with traditional printing and the myriad of ways you can approach printing and taking photographs. Digital, you're relying on the sensor so much to interpret what your artistic vision is, and in some ways I felt like traditional photography, in a combination between your lens choice, camera body, and film stock, and how you print it and develop it, gave me like more layers of control that, again, felt more like mysticism than technical details. And that's really why I went so far down the rabbit hole. I've worked in both still imagery and videography over the years. Cinematically, probably some of the greats like Stanley Kubrick have always been inspiring to me. A director by the name of Ron Fricke, who directed Baraka. It's a great documentary if you've never seen it. Darkroom Printers, Joel Peter Wicken. If you've ever looked at his work, he's an incredibly controversial darkroom printer whose subject matter, I'll let you look it up. But he's a very, very talented printer. Some advice I'd give to an emerging artist that's getting into darkroom printing or just multimedia in general is go into it with a mission statement. And by that I mean, within 5 to 10 years, what do you want to have received from either the degree or the field of study that you're in? Oftentimes, being an artist might lead you down, outside of just Butte College or even Chico or Butte County or even California, and you move to another city to pursue that dream. It's always good to have a sort of mission statement that grounds you why you left in the first place, because time flies, and if you're not careful with that, I think you can end up wasting a lot of time.